Hi, so in this video, I'm going to show how you monitor NiFi, how you get a few stats out of it, and what we can learn from them. So for this example, I'm going to start the entire extract to JSON flow and see how we go. Okay, so the first thing you do when you monitor NiFi is that you look at how many processors are on and off. As we can see, we have 5 on, 2 off. It says 2 off because remember, we have a top level group with get input file and they're currently stopped. Okay, now within each processor, you have stats, which says number of files in, number of files out, the read-write in terms of bytes, and the task and the time. So currently, how do we interpret this? We said that means in the last 5 minutes, there has been 16 tasks, 16 times a flow file was processed, and the time right here says how long it took to process these 16 files. So currently about 28 milliseconds. So you can do something else. You can also right click on a processor and do status history. Status history gives you really nice stats around how many bytes have been read or any of these metrics actually. So let's just do flow files in. We can see that at around 2 p.m. they were 4 flow files in, then we stopped the flow, so 0, and then it just started the flow again, we jump to 20. So in real life, you will have flow of data that you really can't predict. Sometimes you'll have maybe less data, say at night, and sometimes during the day when your users are using your app or your systems, you have more data. So it may look like a bell curve. These graphs are really nice to monitor these kind of things and know when you have peaks, how your processor behaved during these peak times, how many tasks were created, and so on. So you can get heaps of stats and way more information around how your system works. You can also get stats for your queue. You can get the average queue size, the average queue length over time. Ideally, you want to get a small queue, not a 0 queue, not a too large queue, because sometimes you want to batch your events, but you want to get a stable size queue just to make sure your flow doesn't stop and creates back pressure on your other components. Another really nice way to monitor NiFi is to go on the top right and click on Summary. NiFi Summary gives you the status of all your processors within your flow, as well as some stats for them, and you have a very quick link to view the status history. In case of any errors, they will also be displayed here, which is quite handy at times. You have stats on all the processors, but you can also get stats on the input ports, output ports. We haven't seen what this is. Remote process groups, connection process groups. The only things we've seen so far is processors and process groups. Something really nice as well is that within this view, if you want to modify the extract text, you can just click on the info and you'll get some stuff. Finally, you can do system diagnostics on the bottom right, and system diagnostics gives you low-level information about your memory, about your RAM, your garbage collection cycles, your system, how much data is being used, how your processor being loaded, number of available processors, and so on. It's information that's really useful when you want to debug or when your system is under heavy load and you want to see how it behaves, if you get an out of memory error, or if you want to optimize a few things. So that's about how you monitor NiFi. And remember, all of the stats right here are aggregated on 5 minutes windows, so we'll never go to the infinity. It will always give you stats for the last 5 minutes, which is the relevant stats. That's it, guys. Thank you.